Welcome to this session. In today's session, we are going to cover the functions. Okay, and in the functions, actually, we have two different forms of functions. The first one is called built-in functions that you will not need to define it. You don't need to define these built-in functions because it's already predefined. What you'll do, you just call these functions or use these functions. The other type of functions, that is user-defined functions. In these user-defined functions, we have four types of user-defined functions. The first one that with parameter and without return. The second one without parameter and without return. Then with parameter and with return, and without parameter and with return. So these are the four different types of functions. Okay, let us see programs or create a script or applications for these ones. Okay, so let me start with the built-in. So built-in functions. Let us see some example. I will create, for example, the marks as a list of okay, now can we use a built-in functions? Yes, we can, for example, use print. Print is a built-in function. So I want to print marks. Okay, you see, we can print marks either in a vertical manner or even in horizontal. Let us see once it's run here. Okay. Also, I can, as you can see here, I can print, I can say, for example, marks dot what here? Dot max, let us see. Okay. Okay, the mark dot max, it does not work. Okay. Let me write the length of marks. I want to get the length. As you can see, it shows to me 5 because the length actually is a built-in function. Print is a built-in function as well we can use. Okay. Now, marks dot, as you can see here, all this actually is functions that we can use. For example, sort. I want to sort this array. You see here the original one, 90, 60, 30, 75, 50. I want to sort this array. Okay, so I can go home and print the sorted array. Okay, okay, len. Okay, so let me do print as well for the length, and this one array the sort. Let me give it copy, that is equal to, and let me print the copy. Okay, now to sort the array. Okay, now let me try another thing here for built-in functions as well. You remember that we can convert uppercase and lowercase. If I have, for example, name that is equal to Ahmed, and Ahmed here has I can print the len also, number of letter, or will come to Dubai. Okay, this has a string value. Okay, string or message or whatever. Let us see message. Okay, now message. Okay, 16 character. Now, what if I would like to print, okay, message dot. Now I want to print upper case. So I want to print all in uppercase. So as we can see, we convert all content into uppercase. The same thing, I can print instead of upper, it will be lower case. It can print all in a small case. All these are examples of built-in functions. Of course, later on we will see many built-in functions. Now, what about the user-defined function? And why actually we need function? Actually, we need function because we want to maintain the code actually in blocks. Okay, so let us see the first example of this function. I want to create a function where no parameter and no return. So we created a function here. It's called function definition. Function definition. And to define a function, actually, you need to write the keyword def. Then you have to give a name, greetings, for example. And the name, you are free to write whatever the name that you like. Then open close brackets, colons, and then whatever number of statements that you want to add to the function. So here only I want to print, okay, function, and in this print, I want to display welcome to Dubai, for example. Okay. Okay, now I will run it. Nothing happened. So we need to do what? Function calling. Function calling. So the function already defined. Now we need to call this function. What is the function name? The function name is greeting. So what I will do, I will just call this function. You see, welcome to Dubai. Okay, so this is the first one, no parameter and no return. Now the second function that we need to write, okay, the one with parameter and no return. Suppose that I will define the same function, greetings, okay, and here I will give the name, I will give the time, and inside the function, if time that I will give less than 12, I want to display print, okay, good morning. Then I will give the name or the person name. I have to use the same letter because it's case sensitive. If capital, it will be capital, and if it's small, should be small. So this one, good morning. Okay, so now here, LF, I have another condition. If the time less than, say, for example, 18, I will say good afternoon. If the time between 18 and 24, so it will be good evening. So let me run this function. I define the function now. Okay, compile it. Everything is fine. Now I want to um, call this function. So I need to get the name from the user. So I will ask the user to enter a name. So here input. Okay, and in this case, I will ask him, please enter your name. And then we have the time. Okay, and now I will call my function. I will ask the user. Someone can, I see some don't try somehow to create the function that fits to your goal. So here greeting, and I will pass the two things that I read from the user, the name and time. What will happen? This is function calling, okay, and the function will take this name that I will enter, replace it with this one, and add it here according to the scenario, and receive the time and go check the time. If it's less than 12, okay, it will display good morning or good evening or good afternoon. So let me run this one. My name is Omar, and now it's 9 a.m. So good morning, Omar. And again, my name is Ahmed, and now it's 14. Good afternoon. Okay, now let me run on again, Layla, and the time now is 9 p.m. Okay, 9 p.m. So here it is. Okay, Layla. Okay, good evening, Layla, for example. Okay, so in this part, we define the function, and in this cell here, we call the function, we pass the parameter values, and the function goes and do the processing here and print. There is no return up to now in these functions, these two that I already created. Okay, now let us move to another form, that the function that will not receive parameter but will return a value. Okay, suppose that I would like to do the same thing. Okay, I want to define a function that is called greeting. Let me stick to the same example. Okay, and now in this function I can see return welcome to Egypt. Okay, welcome to Egypt. Now if I run this one, nothing will happen. I just define the function. Okay, so now here if I said SMS equal to greetings, okay, the same function name which I have here, greetings, okay, then I can print this SMS, okay, welcome to Egypt, the same message. Now the print as you can see, we didn't apply print inside the function. The function did what? Return only this message. We receive the returned message in a variable, and then we display or use a print to display this variable value. The last form of functions actually is the function that receive parameter and also return a value. Okay, say for example, if I will define the same function which we have here, this one, okay, and instead of printing I will return a message. Okay, so what I will do, I will copy the same function that we already have before, but instead of print which we have here, no, I will change this one to SMS that is equal to, okay, and I will keep good morning plus the name, and for this one it will be good afternoon plus the name, and for this one the SMS will be good evening plus the name. Now here at the end we will return the SMS. Okay, so we define the function as you can see here, and we check the time and create a message. This will be message for the morning, for the afternoon, for the evening. Now if I compile this one, everything is fine. I will do the same thing that we did before. If you remember, we have the time and the greeting here, so I will copy the same thing. This is a function calling, but something I have to do here. What this thing? I have to receive the returned value first, this one. I can receive it in any variable. So SMS val that is equal to, so now I run and it says, what's your name? My name is Omar. At what time now? It's 14, that 2 o'clock. Nothing happened. Okay, where is the output? You remember before we have an output that is displayed here. Okay, so what we'll do here, we'll just say print this SMS val. Okay, so let me run again. My name is Omar and it's 2 o'clock. Good afternoon, Omar, as you can see. Okay, now you can see that according to this, it had the value in brackets, and we don't need the values actually in brackets. So what we will do, we will remove this comma from here. We will add plus to do what is called concatenation. So it will return a string. So let me rerun it again here, Omar, and it's 2 o'clock. Let me compile this. Let me rerun it again because it did not catch the changes. Good afternoon, Omar, as we can see here. So any change that you will do to the main function, you need to recompile it again because it will not be active until you compile it. Okay. So we call the function here again, Ahmad, and it's say for example 19. Good evening, Ahmad, as you can see. The same thing we can apply to find the max of 3 values, find the minimum of values, or even find the odd and the even values, apply Fibonacci, or any other example. So we can define a function that can do this. So let us see an example, a quick example about define a function that asks user to enter a number and then evaluate if it's odd or even and print a message. So simply you will define use def odd or even, then we will ask inside the functions the user to enter a number, then we will evaluate and return. We will return if this number is an even, if it's modulus 2 0, modulus 2 equal to 0, which means that there is no remainder, else it will return odd. So now let me run this one. No errors. So now I can call this function, okay? So simply I will run this one here. It asks me enter a value. It's 23. 23 is an odd value. So let me run on it again. That is 46. It's an even value. Okay. So this part here is a function definition, and we call the function outside here, and whatever the messages that come from the function, either this one or this one, or odd or even, we display it to the user. That's all for functions and for today's session. See you in the next session.